with the news on.
Let me clear my throat. That's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I might as well get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. And the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up. If I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle and lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, keep pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. Yeah.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. I don't apologize for the long intro. I don't apologize. Feel like hitting it again. I don't know. Let's see how this goes tonight. Y'all feel like rocking out a little bit this Thursday night? I don't know about you, but I've had a long day, but I'm in a good mood. I'm in a great mood, a good space. But sometimes you just got to take a little pause. You know, we get stressed out. Let it out. Right?
Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring.
Okay. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. How y'all doing out there on tonight? We are in a whole nother week. February is almost over. I'm sorry, I'm having wardrobe malfunctions, fixing myself, carrying on. But anyway, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, here for another great Thursday night conversation where we have real talk with real resolutions. We are not here to debate, to convict, or to convince, but we are here to have healthy conversation so that we can grow together, so that we can become better at being who we are and show up better into the spaces that we occupy and be better for the people in our lives. But the most important relationship and the one that we really need to be better for is numero uno, ourselves, right? So we come on Thursday nights to just have some open dialogue. None of us are experts, although some of us here do hold degrees and licensings and all of that good stuff, counselors, pastors, therapists, all of that, legit and qualified, well-equipped and legit. And so, but on Thursday nights, we just come to share from our well of experience. We come to share from our cups and have real conversation without all the fluff, right? We keep it real. This is not a one voice, one sound type of platform. This is not one voice, one sound type of conversation. We are here to learn from each other and to glean from each other. We are here so that we can have conversation and better communication, right? So, again, good evening, everyone. I'm your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, here on the greatest network in these YouTube streets, the Bravo with Sheila Network. And we always stop to pay homage and give a big bravo to the Queen Bee, Pastor Sheila herself. I call her my Auntie Bravo because every week she yields me this captain's chair so that I can come and have this great conversation and spend these 60, sometimes 90, sometimes 120, maybe even going up to what 180, whatever it is, the time that we spend, we've come to spend it with you and do well in it, right? Right. So I appreciate you all for coming through, for showing up, and for being in this space on tonight. Of course, the chat is always lit and live. So before I go further, I'm going to get to our disclaimers and I'm going to get to, our rules and regulations. But let me just pause right now because I see some stuff in the chat that, see the people is in the building and we are ready. And of course, we could do none of what we do without the greatest moderator. That's right. We got her here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. She is in the person of Ine Kenya, beautiful queen. Hey, sis, thank you so much for being here and for everything that you do. We appreciate and we love you. And my girl, my fellow Fluffy Nation team member, right? We doing it for the Fluffy Nation, for all the thicker snicker chicks and dudes. Oh, we got Disciple Spencer in the building. Hey, sis, so glad you decided to join us on tonight. Thank you for being here. And oh my goodness, look who's in the building. Might have to drop this link and get him to come up here if he feel like sharing a little part of his wisdom. I don't know. We'll see how he's doing. But you know him, you love him. He is no stranger. He's a regular voice here. He is none other than Vaughn, the mystery man, Black Power Ranger Eric, right? What's good, Vaughn? He says blessings all. I love the million L's every time when he puts that other one because he ain't leaving nobody out. Everybody's included. Everybody, we good to see you, Vaughn. Make sure y'all chime in the comment section. We're here to have dialogue, guys. Just because you're not on the platform does not mean that your voice is not valuable. So make sure that you are sharing and sharing. And while we're on sharing, I'm going to ask those of you who are in here already, do me a solid favor. It's free 99 to you, but it's everything to us. If you just hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel and subscribe and share. Tell a friend, bring a friend. We don't want to keep all this to ourselves. Invite somebody into this great conversation, even if they just want to come and listen. But share to your Facebook page, to your IG, to whatever all your social medias are. Just share it, put it out there. Help us push this up, get our algorithm up so to get these great conversations pushed out further into the universe so we can get more people in it here and we could get more people talking because we want to be better. We want to start loving each other right? So do me that solid. I'd appreciate it so very much. Just click that, just hit it right quick. Take not even 2 seconds. Just hit that thumbs up button and we appreciate it. Sharing is caring. And also, I'm excited because my Mama T, Pastor T, is in the building on tonight. Hey, Mama T, thank you for chiming in. And trust and believe me, y'all gonna meet her real soon in person. She gonna be up here. We're gonna get her up here next month. We're gonna get her in the building because next month is Women's History Month. But I ain't gonna jump the gun because I'm excited about it, but we gonna stick because we're in February. We're wrapping up February. Gonna get us right for March. That's the right, Disciple. Fluffy Nation is in the building. For those of you who don't know, you're gonna have to go back and watch some of our former podcasts from September and October. We were talking about cuffing season, and everybody listen, watch out for your thick friends. Okay, watch out for those of us who got a little extra fluff and extra plus fluff. Okay. Any 2X and up, watch out because this is cuffing season. Well, cuffing season already started, but now it's almost over, so it's the temporary relationships that people project and want to get into, with us thicker than snicker group members, because we provide a little extra warmth, during these cold winter months. And the fact that it is so cold right now, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised because my phone be ringing, but that's the story for another time. We ain't gonna talk about that. Okay. And I'm not answering. No, I'm not answering. Just so we clear. And Vaughn Eric is laughing. You know, Vaughn, you already know. So let's keep the comment sections, keep the chat lit and live. Please engage, share your comments and your thoughts, your feelings. And we're gonna have some other people coming into this great space and this great conversation on tonight. Let's see. But while we're talking about this great conversation and this great space, I also want to welcome those who are in the expensive seats. We call it the silent section. You know, in the upper echelons, maybe passing by or peeking through or just taking a seat in the back row. You know how you tip into church with your finger up. Now I'm a God's girl, so and you don't want to cause no ruckus, so you stay up in the back. Well, we welcome you on tonight also, and we want to invite you down to the comment section. I promise you it is safe. Nobody's going to hurt you. We got security, and we want to hear from you, and we want to greet you properly. So as you come in, come on, say hello. Let us know you're here so we can shout you out and help to get you engaged in this conversation on tonight. Now, I do want to say Bravo with Sheila Network is not a Christian-based network. Though most of us that do come on and share, we are believers, but we respect, we honor, we appreciate everyone's thoughts, feelings, and opinions. All are welcome here. So we don't want you to feel like you can't speak up. Again, this is not one voice, one sound. We are here to share, to learn, and to glean. It is a safe space. And our number one rule and primary point is respect always. We share respectfully. We dialogue respectfully. We talk respectfully. We treat each other respectfully. And should there be a situation where we're encountering that is not happening, unfortunately, we will have to remove you from the space and also, clip your comments. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're having healthy conversation. I know we ain't gonna have that problem on here, but I'm saying we got to put it out there to let the people know, because sometimes you got all types watching and all that. This is a respectful space. So all thoughts, feelings, opinions, whatever your moral compass is, we respect it here. We appreciate it. And we hope that you would feel free and safe and comfortable to engage in dialogue with us on tonight. And with that being said, y'all know I say it all the time. I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get a little Jesus every time you get me, because God is my choice for my moral compass. So we're going to have a great time and great conversation. Now, if by chance you do need a little extra spirit, some encouragement, if by chance you might need a little word to, push you, something in your ear to get your spirit moving. Now, you can go right across the street. It doesn't matter which way you go. Either way makes no difference. You go over to the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. Over there, you will find the amazing Pastor Sheila. You'll also find my mom, Pastor Rosa, and Reverend Jenny. Those ladies are over there serving it up on Friday mornings at 11 a.m. with the Women of Grace, and that they are so graceful, and we appreciate them sharing good talk conversation, going through the women in the Bible. Ladies, you will find yourself in one of these women. I promise you, you will. So with that being said, go on over there and engage. You will also find that on Tuesday mornings, my mom, Pastor Rosa, she is on at 10 a.m. sharing a word, a good word. So y'all go on over there and y'all support my mom. Like, she's literally my birth mom, because she's the one. She's the reason why I am, okay? So y'all going over there at 10 a.m. on Tuesday mornings. You are welcome to join her. She shares a great word and will help get you right, get your spirit together. So we appreciate her in the person of who she is Pastor Rosa. And also you will find, like I said, Pastor Sheila, she's everywhere. She's doing it. She's ministering. She just came back from Ghana. I don't know where she's going to next, but she is on a mission to make sure that people are feeling the love of God everywhere, that she can possibly spread it. But she is all through the Sheila Ingram Ministries. She does meditation through the word. She does prayer. She does music, just everything. Just go on over and experience it for yourself. Just go across the street. Okay. So I would be remiss if I did not say also, if you enjoy, not even if you enjoy, but because you're going to enjoy, but want you to also tune in to the Bravo with Sheila Network on Monday nights. Because Monday nights, my podcasting partners, my Harlem Girls family, they are on with Mondays Beyond the Mic. And that is Coach Pache and Dr. Elaine over there getting us right in relationship and talking to us about things that are going on in culture today. And we appreciate them so, so very much. So we're doing a lot over here between these two stations, but please like, subscribe, and share, and welcome in everyone. I am your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, as you know, here on Thursday nights with me, Lady Dawn B. So for the month of February, we know it's the month of love a little more, and I hope you guys had an amazing Valentine's Day and an awesome Valentine's Day weekend. I hope y'all got some love. Come on, put love in the chat for me. Just put it in there, whether you got some love or not. Just put it in there. Just put the word love in it. Let me know that you're with me. So for the month of February, we've been talking about love. We have love talk all month long. And so far, we've discussed some of the principles and the points of love in the first week. Last week, we were talking about selfishness versus selflessness, trying to understand what are we doing and how is this looking and where are we going. That's right. Come on. Thank you, Mama T. Love. That's right. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Talk about the love, people. That's what we're here to talk about. Because at the core, the key of every relationship, the meat of every relationship is love, right? The heart. Why be in it if there's no love involved, right? So on tonight, we are going to be talking about intimacy and intentional healing. Oh, this should be good. Disciple Spencer says, I had a weekend of self-love, self-care, and self-love. Listen, that is the best. Okay, if you don't start there with that self-love and self-care, listen, you might as well forget about it. Get you right loving you. Because when you get you right loving you, you show up differently in how you love other people. And not just that, you also accept love differently. You don't just go for anything. And I've learned that when somebody says, I love you, I stop and I ask them to define love. What does that mean to you? Because how I define love and how I view love and how you define it and how you view it might be a little different. So let's get on the same page with this love thing before we go any further. But self-love and self-care are key, the number one step in this love talk and in love relationships. That's right. Come on with it. That's right. Love. Come on, somebody. She says, yes, ma'am. Self-love is key. So again, tonight we're talking about intimacy and intentional healing. There was a clip that I shared with some of our panelists on tonight. I'm going to bring them up. And it was sharing from a book that was written by Jason Wilson. Bear with me. It's called The Man the Moment Demands. His name is Jason Wilson. And it was an amazing clip about how he loved on his wife. He was intentional about loving on some of the places on her that were a stumbling block, so to speak. They were painful. And the way he expressed it, the way he did it, brought her to tears. And he continued to minister to her, if you would, or attend to her, if you would, as she cried. And it allowed her to release what she had been holding on to in a very painful way. And that was intentional. He brought intentional healing. He was intentional in sharing. So we want to talk a little bit about intimacy, and we want to talk about intentional healing. All right. And to help me dialogue in this conversation on tonight, she was with us last week. She is my little sis. She's not really little sis, but I'm gonna call my little sis. But she is my little sis. She is. And I love her so dearly. You're gonna be hearing her a whole lot more, seeing her face. She don't know it, but she knows it. She looped in now. It was one way in and no way out. So she just stuck with me. And she is in the person of Haley.
You funny. Hey, sis.
What's poppin'?
You funny, man.
This behaving. Mama's watches.
I try. She watching?
Yeah, Mama's here. Look. You see? She said love.
Hi, Mama. Dang it.
Yup.
I gotta be real good.
Basic. You ain't gotta be real good.
All right.
Do your best. How about do your best?
I'm gonna try.
Okay, just do your best. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
You know it's getting ready to go down, right? You know it's going down.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Mama talking to you. Mama talking to you. Hi. God is watching us. That's our new theme song, okay? The Color Purple, they had You and Me Must Never Part. We got God is watching us.
Mama.
Also, I want to welcome into the room Michelle Roach, my sis, my friend. She says, good evening, Lady Dawn B. Good evening, sis. It's good to see you. Thank you for chiming in, joining us. I believe I'll be with her next Friday night doing some poetry, I believe.
Okay.
We're going to have to share on that a little later. So thank you for popping in, sis. So now I got my little sis Haven up here with me, but we are not done yet because guess what, guys? I got a little surprise for you. You haven't seen her in a minute, but you know her, you love her. She is no stranger here. I am her 4 of 4. She is the amazing, power packed in a little package. She's a powerful woman. There's a lot of power, anointing, grace, but she comes into this space and she just becomes a whole different person. I don't know if she gonna preach tonight. I doubt it because we talking real talk, and so you gonna get the other side of her. But you know her and love her. She is literally my mom pushed me out into the world. Thank you, Mommy, for letting me into this amazing space. And she is in the person of Pastor Rosa, aka Mama Rosa, is in the house, y'all. Ta-da!
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, I did. I literally did. It was a push. It really was.
This is the best push you ever had, ma'am.
Because it was the last.
That's what she said.
It was the last because she didn't need to go no more. She didn't need to go no more. She was finished.
I had overdone myself, right? I overdid it.
And he sang, ta-da! That's love. That was intentional. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was you meant it. So thank you, ladies, for joining us on tonight. We have I believe, 1 or 2 more people maybe coming in, joining us in a bit. But in the meantime, we're going to get this conversation going and flowing on tonight. So our topic of conversation is intimacy and intentional healing. So I first want to, y'all know me, I'm a word girl. So we always start here with the definition of intimacy because we tend to, you know what? I'm not even going to give the definition first. I'm going to ask you ladies, how do you define intimacy? Because a lot of us have some different views, different beliefs of what intimacy really is. And I don't think we always, fully understand because we learn from other people instead of, really looking into it ourselves so often. Michelle says, good evening, Mama Rosa. So I'm going to start with Mama. Tell us what do you think intimacy is, or what is intimacy to you?
Well, the first word I think about when I think about intimacy is closeness. That's the first thing I think about. Intimacy. I was thinking earlier after watching the little clipping that you showed, and I was like, I remember one of the first secular songs that I sang after being saved was we were on our way to bury my dad, and you remember the song came on. What was it? How did you get here? How did you? You're not supposed to be here. and you and your sister just about lost it
I like
because
the car.
it's like, how does
What?
she even know that song? How does she
I
even
never heard her sing nothing
know?
gospel and talk to the Lord. We
She
didn't
just busted out Deborah Cox.
know.
Right.
Told us the name and everything. Well, ma'am, who are
Right.
you?
Yeah. But when I think about that, I think about a person. Well, let me just go this way. Um, for a long time, I locked people out, and I think that has to do with having lost my mother at such an early age. And I was like, nobody's going to get here. No one is going to get in this space. So you lock down out of fear of being hurt, and you don't want anybody in that space. And I always said, until I meet my mother in glory, no one is going to be in that space. But then what happens is what happens is this person of the opposite sex comes along, and that space is open, and then that's what that song was all about. Well, you're not supposed to be here, how did you even get here? So that to me is intimacy, when someone comes in your life and gets in that place where nobody else, you know, can be or should be, that to me, that type of closeness, that person just becomes like a part of who you are. That to me is intimacy, not something that, you just casually um, get involved with someone, and it's a casual thing, but it's something that's special, something special, something that is set apart from everything else, and everybody else.
Got it. Okay. That's a special place. That's only reserved for one.
One.
Got it. How did you get here? How did you get here? Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's supposed to be here.
Nobody is supposed to be.
But listen, that's that part. You turn around, this little boy say, "Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute." I didn't open the door. What we doing? I tried
Yeah.
to love thing for the last time. Yeah,
I
been
didn't even know. All I knew was, how did you get here? You're not supposed
there.
to be here. It was the only word I knew.
Now listen, we was just happy she wasn't complaining that we had R&B, because this was a long trip. Now we had
Right.
been driving, like, Mama, you gonna have to give us something.
Right.
We don't
Right.
try Jesus every which way now. We need to, it's
Right.
late, tired, we driving, and I need to stay up.
And then they turned around and was like, what?
And she busted out with it. We said, wait a minute, who's in the back seat? I said, ma'am, how did you get here?
Yeah.
What did you do with our mother?
What'd you do with our mother?
Now, Disciple Spencer says intimacy to her is sharing your private space with me. Sharing, and that's good. It's good. Come on, y'all. Put in the chat what is intimacy to you. We don't mind sharing. Engage in this conversation on tonight. Let us know. We're here to dialogue, learn from one another. All right. So Disciple says it's sharing your private space with me, similar to what Mom said. It's a space that's reserved just for one. Come on, Haven. Tell us what your understanding, experience, definition of intimacy is.
Well, so intimacy to me is, um, I think that it can be more than one. I think just the relationship is different. So um, most times today, when you hear intimate or you hear intimacy, this generation kind of equates that to having relations. So you think intimacy, you think instantly physical touch. You think,
Mhm.
um, I do have to agree with Mom and with Disciple Spencer. It is, sharing a place that, you know, everybody doesn't deserve to be in that space.
Mhm.
So, you know, I might have a friendship, and I might and it's just you could have this with, and even though it's not about, you know, regular friends, but there's stuff that I might share intimate stuff, or personal stuff, or let people into a space that's very close and very intimate. Like Dawn, I might share stuff with you that I normally wouldn't share with anybody else.
Right.
That is
Right.
intimacy, right?
Right.
For my husband, there is a place that me and my husband, you know, can go intimately, and not just, you know, relations, but there's a place that we can go intimately. And my mom and dad may never experience that side of me, but my relationship with them is also intimate.
Right.
Right.
So it is definitely, you know, who you, because of course, you usually when you have, when that area is set up for one, it's because you've been scarred in that area, like what mom said. You know, like I would be scared to let anybody in a space just because that hurt that I felt, you know.
Mhm.
But once I overcome that hurt, you know, you can't just block everybody else out, or you still got some personal stuff to deal with. But yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's it. So just
Stuff.
letting people into that intimate, that private area that you normally, we have intimacy with God. You
Yes.
know, that's definitely personal.
Mhm. Yep. Mhm.
That's good. That's good. I
Yeah.
agree. I love what you said in the
Mhm.
differences of relationship. You know, how intimacy can be shown, expressed, or experienced in different places. So if I was just one, Disciple Spencer says everyone cannot have a front row seat in my life. That's the truth. Everyone cannot. First of all, listen, I already know everybody can't handle a front row seat in my life. Some people can't even handle waiting on the line to get in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, no,
Okay.
we're full now. Come back
Yes.
tomorrow. Try again tomorrow.
Right.
So
Right.
welcome. Come on. Mika's in the building. Hey, sis. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome for those of you who are just joining us Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. We got my little sis Haven and my mama, for real, Pastor Rosa, a.k.a. Mama Rosa, in the house tonight, talking with us on this third Thursday of February about intimacy and intentional healing. And I just asked the ladies and I just asked the chat what intimacy means to them, or how would they define it. There's still time, y'all. You can comment in the chat if you have it. Come on, we want to hear from you. We want to get the dialogue going. We appreciate you being here on tonight. Come on and like, subscribe, and share. Please hit that thumbs up button as you enter. Let's get it going. So I thank you, ladies, for your shares on tonight. That's all right, Mika. Listen, play on, player. Okay. Rehearser. All right, for there shall be a performance.
Okay.
Okay. I hope you read it the way that I just said it earlier, because that's how I meant. There shall be a performance.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Y'all, this is my other little sister Mika. She is in a play, and we are wishing her well, knowing it's going to be the absolute of absolutes. But I'm glad you popped in while you are taking a break from your thespian duties as a player in the play.
No,
So I
I
want
think that. I'm sorry. I think that the the comment was saying about everyone can't have. He said everyone can't have a ticket. And that right.
can't have a front row
Everyone
ticket.
can't have a front row ticket in my life, and that's true. You know, because there's always a Judas in the crowd.
Ooh.
And you can't. I mean, and when you look at it, you might have 5 best friends or whatever, but there's one that you're closer to than the rest of them. So that is true, so true. And I think that's what my situation was. Because I don't like crowds, and when I think about intimacy, as you're saying, it's not just related to a man-woman relationship. It varies,
Right.
in all our relationships. You have uh, three siblings, and there's might be one that you're closer to than the others. Not saying that you have a favorite, but there's one that you're closer to for some reason, something. It's something about that other person that's different than the other two. It's the same, even like with your children. You open to some people more than you open to others, because it's not just you, it's the reception that you're getting, that invitation that person is giving you to be in that space in their life. And everybody doesn't do that.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely relationally based, but the thing about intimacy, as most of us know it, is that, as Haven said earlier, people equate it to physical touch. We are always putting it on the bedroom or some
Mhm.
other some other acts of expression,
Mhm.
in a tangible way. But by definition, and we limit what intimacy is, and that's why a lot of us miss out on intimacy. A lot of us overlook the true essence of what intimacy is, and a lot of us are shooting far beyond. Yes, that's just this Haven. I'm gonna have all my sisters over here with me next month. Everybody go come on, we go work it out. But intimacy, truly, we miss it because we believe it is so many other things that it's not. You know, um, Again, by definition, intimacy is meaning closely acquainted. It refers to a closeness. It is referring to a private, cozy atmosphere. So those are two ways you can think of intimacy. And what I love about these definitions, and basically just the, I'm sorry, y'all, the weather is crazy, so we start to buffer a little bit.
Okay.
And so we'll wait. When that happens, don't be alarmed. We're not going nowhere. We'll be right back. Okay. But but by this definition of what intimacy really, really is, we understand that it is not gender based, and it's not even so much action oriented. It's just the point of closeness, being closely acquainted, closeness, and a private, cozy atmosphere. Now, what we were talking about actually before, as we were speaking about physical touch and those are expressions of intimacy, but they are not actual intimacy. Again, intimacy is, again, being closely acquainted. Like you said, there's differences in levels of relationships that we have one with another. And so we create intimate spaces based on relationships, based on different levels of care that we have with each other. And before we go further, we got the heavy hitter in the house. He is the big brother of our team, our squad, our group, and he's going to lend some male voice, some language from the male perspective to this conversation. And before I bring him up, please, y'all know that anything that we say on tonight, it is not gender based. It is all inclusive. So we may express as women how we've experienced these situations from, towards men or from men, because that's what we know. Just as the men will express their experience and how they've received this or given it from the male perspective. But we are all here to listen to the other side so we can find the happy medium where we can connect, because men may need something what we think men consider intimacy may not be. And just like men may think we consider intimacy one thing and it may not. So a lot of us may be spending a lot of time in the bedroom for the wrong reason. I'm just saying. But with that being said, we're going to tap back to that in a second. I'm going to bring up my big brother. I'm real biased about him. I'm super selfish, but I do have to share him with everyone else.
Yes.
He is not new. I said it. I'm super selfish, absolutely biased, and unapologetically so. I'm not even sorry, not sorry. I'm just not sorry how I feel. But I share. I'm learning to share. But he is no stranger here. You're going to be hearing his voice a whole lot more. He is about to be my co-moderator, co-lead captain of the men's lounge when we bring him back next month. He's on and popping. Give it up for my hour. See, I said mine and I had to say hour. Big brother Rock Noble's in the house. Hey, big bro. How are you?
He got the mute on.
You got to unmute.
What's up, baby sis? What's up, kiddo? What's up, Pastor Rosa?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
Wonderful. Even better now you here. Always better when Big Bro's in the room, when he's in the house. you know what we. So we were just starting in the conversation, and I was just asking the ladies to share their meaning, their thought, their understanding of what intimacy is. So you're right on time, and we're gonna yield the mic to you.
Well, many times when people think of intimacy, they think of sex. But intimacy, you have intimacy of the mind. Intimacy is how close two people are. Sex is not the only definition of intimacy.
We gotta say
right?
relation. We gotta say relation. We might get a word strike.
Okay. So intimacy is not only about relationship or close relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Or intimacy to me is mental. It's the meeting of the minds. It's the sharing of each other's thoughts and the sharing of secrets, the sharing of how close two people come together. That's intimacy. To me, the other one is just physical. I mean, it can be intimacy, but a lot of times it's just physical for the most part. But you can have two people who are very intimate, and it's just, it has nothing to do with relations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it doesn't like you can have like say, take for instance, like platonic relationships is no, people don't even believe in that no more. And it's not that it don't exist. It's not me. People can be brothers and sisters and brothers or whatever without having a relationship. And
right.
I'm not one to allow society to shape my thinking or shape my mind what something is. You're not going to tell me that I can't be a big brother to somebody unless I'm having a relationship with them. And you're not going to tell me that. That's your thinking. That's not my thinking. Right? Because intimacy with me goes further beyond than relationships. Intimacy could be just talking, This could be an intimate moment that we're sharing now. We're sharing thoughts. We're sharing our innermost thoughts. Maybe some thoughts that we don't normally share on a regular basis to normal people because of their thought process on what intimacy is.
Mm-hmm.
So, so this could be an intimate panel. So,
No, that's good, bro. That's good. And I appreciate that. It causes us to really think about it. And that's the whole point when we're up here and we're sharing and we're dialoguing. And again, you guys are welcome to comment in the chat what you think or know or experience intimacy to be. But we want to add some language to it because we want to make sure that in relationships, we are really getting what we need and that we are giving really what the
Right.
person needs. We want to understand, am I really being intimate with this person? You know, I know and we all have agreed up here that the common understanding of intimacy always has to be something physical related to the bedroom. And truthfully, I read the definition of what intimacy is, and it does not ever mention anything about a physical act, or any of those things. It just says closely acquainted,
Mhm.
and a private, cozy atmosphere. So when
Mhm.
you mentioned for you, intimacy being something that is within the mind, it comes from within. That was
Mhm.
like spot on. Because if you internally do not feel for a person, it is difficult to share any part of you with them. It
Right.
is difficult to even give you a tour of my bedroom, so to speak. If I don't feel nothing for you in my heart, or in my spirit, or my feelings, however, whatever your moral compass is, it is difficult for me to create an atmosphere that is cozy, that will allow
Mhm.
us to get closely acquainted with one another. Like you said, it's a sharing of thoughts and feelings. And I think Haven said the same thing or something similar earlier. The sharing of thoughts that you could tell this person something that you normally wouldn't share with anyone else. That's what intimacy is. Intimacy is a place of being your most vulnerable self without being
Mhm. Mhm.
ashamed or fearful.
Mhm. And
It's that. Go ahead.
it's also good that you mentioned space too, because that can also be intimacy. Like for
Hmm.
instance, in my study, when you come in my like, I think it was about maybe 6, 7 years ago. I was sitting in my study, and my wife came in, and she was talking about something. I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's step outside the study. This is an intimate space with me. This is where I meet God at in the morning. This is where I do my study. This is where I do my prayer at." So that means there's an intimacy here between me and this space. So I don't want a certain mentality to interrupt the space. So intimacy, it goes even further than just person to person, but it could be a space that you have. People have prayer closets, and intimacy could be, why you pick up my Bible? It could be that. Some people don't like you handling their Bible because their Bible,
That's Mama Rosa.
their Bible is like, please. I'm the same way. I'm like, why you? But I just want to see all my Bibles I got up on that shelf. You got to pick this one up. Why you pick up the one on my? I got 20 of them up here. Just grab one of them.
Right.
But because it's like, no, not my Bible. Please can you put that down, please? So it goes far beyond even people. It could be a person, place, or thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some places people don't go to. Like I'm like when we meet up, I might have a spot where I take baby sis. I might have a spot I take kid, and you don't cross them because it's for
That
that's
person.
for big sis. That's for little sis. You see, and so we have to be mindful that it's just intimacy is not a complicated. We make it complicated
Right.
because we're lazy in our thinking. I tell people all the time. Sometimes I get in trouble, but I don't care. But I tell them us people sometimes are lazy. We want to take everything and make it one definition. We don't want to break definition. We don't want to break it down. Well,
Right.
intimacy is relationships, is this. No, no, no. You got to break that down. Then you want to get classified as, oh, you're too technical, or you splitting hairs, or no. Look the word up if you don't know it. Don't take my, so it could be a space like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, no, and that's true. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we were teasing earlier. My mom brought up the fact that we were on our way down south to bury my grandfather, and we were playing, and we had the radio on, and she is like, this is like, she's somewhere between Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Okay, that's, I don't know what you would call her, but she's somewhere between the two. Of all my life, all 55 years,
She's like my father. He the same way. He's like,
I don't know what level that is, but that whatever it
right.
is, it's
It's
there.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
So we didn't know that we never. can't even really say that, you know, we even knew that she knew any of the songs on the radio. And the Deborah Cox song, How Did You Get Here, came on and she busted out singing. And we turned around so fast, my head almost popped off like, wait a minute, who this in the backseat? What you know about that? And she, you know, so when you start talking about those spaces and crossing the lines, you know, you're so right. There are some spaces that are specific. That's what makes them intimate. That's what makes them so precious. And that's what makes them so sacred, is that this is a place where you and I come to be closely acquainted and to develop more closeness without anybody else. Now, whomever that anybody else's may be, it could be more than one. You know, there could be a space in your home, like you said, where you might meet with your children, you know, and this is the space that's designated just for y'all. I'm like, no, nobody go. The wife don't come, the husband don't come. It's just me and my kids, because you've made this sacred space,
Right.
You know, and it's intimate, it's personal, and we do have to learn how to secure and preserve and protect those spaces that we do create that are like that. So, you know, please like, subscribe, and share, guys. On tonight, thank you for joining us. It's Thursday night with me, your girl, Ladies on B. We got my little sis Haven in the house. We got my mama who literally pushed me out on her 404. Pastor Rosa, aka Mama Rosa, in the house, and we got my big bro. I'm absolutely biased. Rock Nobles with us, talking about. I'm gonna say it every single time. Talking about.
You know she's gonna get us afterwards, right?
It's all right. I don't care. I'll take it. I'm gonna take one for the team. I don't care, because we're here now. But we are talking about intimacy and intentional healing during this month of February. We have a love talk because we need to learn how to love right. And by defining these things, it's going to help us better show up in the spaces that we come into. Hey, brother, talking to you, Rob. It's Tamika.
Hey, sis.
You know,
that's the weeping sister of Pastor Rosa. That's the weeping sister. Every time she prays, she cries through the whole prayer. So I call her the weeping sister. Mm-hmm.
Weep on, weeper. Weep on, weeper. So, but yeah, you're right. And I think that it's a beautiful thing I think it's so important to create those intimate spaces that we're talking about with the people in your life, and that you don't cross them. And I think that for me, creating those intimate spaces is so important, because everyone needs time to go and reset.
Mm-hmm.
And I firmly believe it should be a space that is not your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in relationships. Make it a space that is not your bedroom. Like, I don't work in my bedroom. I don't bring stuff. Like, my bedroom is my bed. That's my sacred space. That's my intimate spot where, you know, just that's it. I'm gonna bring nothing back here. There are other places, but it's key, because you need a space. And this is why a lot of relationships, even in friendships and sisterhoods, brotherhoods, there's spaces that you need to create. Me and my my other best friend, and I've shared, you know, one of them, she passed away. But the other one, we had our own sacred space. I ain't gonna say what it is and where it is, that we go to, you know, that we would go to and gather, just me and her. Tamika says, have a great show, guys. Gotta go. Love y'all. All right, go on
Love
and be
too,
great
too.
with your
Love
play.
you
We'll see you later. You know, but just she and I would go, and I might go shoe shopping. You know, sometimes she and I might go grab coffee. You know, me and Mom, we used to have our dates every Wednesday night. When my son was little and I didn't have him, we would meet at a particular coffee shop and just have coffee and dessert. And that was intimate. And those are moments that help to build our relationship, where everything else blocked out of the world. You know, everything else was blocked out, and it was just me and her. We had no interruptions. We catered to one another. You know, we hair down, we talked, we laughed, and it's important that we create those, and those were intimate moments. I don't know what she did with my other brothers and sisters, you know, and I'm not concerned about that, but I was glad that we had those moments because it helps to build our bond. So intimacy is really important in relationships. And I don't think that intimacy, and I'm gonna say this, and it might seem a little strong, and y'all can, you know, chime in as well, but I don't believe that intimacy is for everyone and should be shared with everyone.
No.
Right.
Because if you have intimacy with everyone, then it's not special anymore. Like there has to be a standard, so to speak. You know, do y'all agree? What are your thoughts? Come on, Mama. I think I muted you. Sorry.
You muted me.
There you go.
You said it. What? Say that again. I got so caught up in being muted.
I'm sorry. It was some feedback. That's why.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying I don't believe that intimacy is something that you should develop or share with everyone. Like it's not a space that you have with everyone. Like you said, you have 4 children, and you treat all of us differently according to the relationship. But in life and in friendships and the roles that we take, I don't believe that intimate settings are something that should be created for every single person in your life. So I was asking you guys, what are your thoughts on that?
Why you're not special? You're just, you know, on the list. You know, you're just one of the folk. You know, it's nothing. You know,
We should have made Mama last.
I just want y'all to.
I gotta come behind that. You're not special. You're
So
just on this list.
I mean,
I'm straightforward.
I know where the apple fell from.
you know, it's so true. You know, because now I tell you, me, this is the way that I am. I am very serious. I am a person of intimacy. I am very selective in who I open up to. I'm genuine in that if I say something to you, I really mean it. I think about what I say before I say it, because, you know, that's just the way that I am. So I feel like when it comes to my life, when it comes to my mind, when it comes to my emotions, those things are very, very precious to me.
Right.
Those are things that I've worked, I've earned, you know, I've selected, you know, I've chosen my character, you know, the way I carry myself. And so you can't just, you know, if I could just say this, you know, the Bible says that, you know, don't be unequally yoked. You know, we kind of think that it's just related to a husband and wife, but it's not. It is, if you don't open your mind to people that are not like-minded. You know, Be careful what you're sharing with somebody, because they may not even have the understanding of what you're saying. And then you're looking for a response, and they can't even respond because they don't even know what you said. You know, so it's true, you know. And I love what Rock said. It's not just in that one area, it's in every area. And you know, if I share this one, I'm thinking about my friends. I had a friend, one of my girlfriends, she was saying, oh, my father told me the way to find out if a person loves you is this. And I was like, what? You know, to me, it's when you talk to me and it doesn't make sense, you know, I'm done.
That's right. Exactly.
No conversation.
No.
There's no rebuttal, no response.
Right.
Just, you know, because the mind, you know, people are feeding back into you. They're feeding back into your mind. That stuff is going in your heart. You're going to think about this foolishness that somebody said to you, you know, over and over and over again, and it's foolishness. So, you know, it carries over in every area of our lives. It might not seem, you know, people might say, oh, well, you know, you're strange or whatever. Say, yeah, you know, a little bit. But, you know, I'm going to protect myself. Because I don't want all of that junk in my mind. I don't want to even think about.
That's right.
Know,
That's right.
rehashing it over and over
That's
and
right.
over again.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is a special place. My mind is
That's
for a
right.
selected
That's
few.
right.
My heart is for a selected few.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you are in agreement that intimacy is not something that should be shared with the common or as the common. Denali.
absolutely. Because
All
we
right.
is not common. We ain't common.
Say that because
That's right. We're not.
I'm as kind. I am pretty. I'm come on, Rock. Come on and
And you
share.
have to, and you also, to piggyback off of what she said, you also have to be on the intimacy level. Like, she's a pastor, I'm an elder. If me and her are friends, I should be able, if we are on that intimate level, I should be able to come to her and be human and her not think no differently of me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And vice versa. When she comes to me, I should be like, and you a pastor? No. See, that's not you. That when people do that, mm-mm. You can't share with them. You know, you should be able to share. And the reason why intimacy is so scarce today, because intimacy, to be intimate, brings a certain level of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
You're making yourself vulnerable. So when I come to you, baby sis, or you come to me, or you, and we're all on the phone, right? Before we make ourselves vulnerable, the other ones have to first present a safe place for that
Absolutely.
person to feel like they can open up. So if me and the pastor are talking and brings us to a safe place, now I can express some stuff that I'm experiencing as an elder without her saying, "No, maybe you don't need to be up here. Maybe you don't need to be doing." Because it's a safe place, and in a safe place, you have to be a no judgment zone. It's not about judging, right? This is why
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and she's right. There are different levels. I have 5 daughters and 1 son, and everybody thinks that this one daughter is the favorite, and she's really not the favorite. I love them all the same, but she's the only one that invests in me and her mother. She calls, she checks up. We don't when the school is out, she fly the kids down so we can spend time with them. She invests in that. Where everybody else, sometimes you don't hear from them 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And then when you call it, you don't get no call back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I only do it once. I call, no call back. You don't want to be bothered, I won't bother you. Right? So it's not, so she's right when she says you're on the list, but you're not that, you're not, you know, you're on the list, but you're not that special one. You know, and the thing about it is, and everybody see, there she go, baby sis, get your sister, get your sister, baby sis.
I told her.
You're on the list, but you're not that one. And it's not it's not to slight nobody, and it's not really a favoritism. Everybody ain't built for intimacy. Everybody's not built. Everybody can't take my story. Everybody can't take baby sis story. Everybody can't take kiddo story, and everybody can't take the pastor story. Everybody can't take that story. So it's not a favoritism. It's just like you got to find someone who can handle
Capacity.
on a spiritual level, the capacity on a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual level and a natural level
Mm-hmm.
to be able to handle what you're saying.
No,
And
that's
don't
good.
look at you no differently. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and
No, that's good.
it's different because like y'all too know, a lot of people I know, like they know I'm married, right? And they know a lot of times my wife is like an earshot away from wherever's going on. She'll be paying attention. But I don't share the presence with my wife with everybody. People get upset with me. I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know you was married." "Yeah, I'm married." "Oh, no. We ain't gotta do all that." Because it's a level of intimacy. You know, it's a
Right.
level. I don't just put her in front of any old body and everybody. You
And nor
know,
should you.
well, you know, and sometimes it's to protect myself too, because if somebody say something crazy,
Come
do
on.
something crazy, you know, so I got to protect myself too at some point.
They
You know
say
what? But like the pastor was saying, you're on the list, but you're not the special one. I got people back home, and they'll say, "You know, I never met your kids." I know.
what? I know because I never.
Wait a minute, Rock. We cousins. We grew up together. We went to church together. We went to school together. I know. But it's a level. It's a level to this thing, and you got to be careful who you put people in who you expose your children to, and who you expose people to. And ain't no love lost. I love you, Pastor. I love you. But you know, we don't think the same on some level, so I don't want my children over there. You know. You know, but it ain't got nothing to do with love. Love ain't got nothing to do with it. So
Right.
I totally agree with everything the pastor said, and I totally agree with everything that's being said. It's just there's different levels to this thing. You know, so you got to, like, people like, well, this one says this, like, you baby sister, y'all know, well, why she get to say this and I can't? I mean, you can answer that question. I don't even answer. When people ask me questions like that, Pastor Rosa, I don't even answer them. Well, why Pastor Rosa can say this and I can't? I just look at them and just turn away, because you know the answer to that question.
Because it is.
I don't owe you no explanation. If you can't figure that out, this is why we don't talk, and this is why we can't be on the intimate level if you don't even know the answer to that question. So, you know.
No, that was good. That's good. But I think the disciple specialist said it a little. She put the sugar on it because mom just put it straight out in bitter. She just put it out there in the bitterness. Disciple said, everyone can't have a front row ticket in my life.
Correct.
Mama just said you ain't special. She's like, that's just what
you on the list, but you ain't special. I like that. I'm
know?
gonna use that too. When somebody said, "Why you can't do this?" I can. You on the list, but you just not special.
Or that's, but yeah, you know, see, that's what I'm saying. But it's true, you know, it is true. There are the different levels of intimacy, right? And everybody cannot. And I think we need to understand that, because when we start making, and it doesn't mean you can't be friends, that you don't have levels of friendships and you don't have relationships with other people. It's just the depth of those relationships are different, and intimacy is on a whole nother level. It is not the surface, but it's on a different level. So come on, Haven, share your thoughts. What do you think? If
Man,
you can.
Rock said a lot. Well, what I will say is, let me see if I can try to pick out some of the stuff he said. Well, I think mom talked about being unequally yoked, and and I have to say that definitely can be in friendship. Some of the notes that I wrote down is being like-minded, being around like-minded people. And I say that because a lot of times you can almost get violated in the people that you choose to be intimate with, or you choose intimacy with, because you are expecting that person to be you. And
hey, baby, bro.
you realize that you let somebody in your space that violated your trust. They violated what they were supposed to be to you. Like I would hear stories about people who were really good friends with somebody, and when that friendship was over, they went and shared everything intimate that they was told. Everything they shared it all. It's because you made a conscious decision to let somebody in your intimate space that didn't deserve to be there.
That didn't deserve to be there.
So I have to agree with, you weren't allowed to be in that area of my life because you really weren't that special. It just, everybody, you have, or the term you hear, she's my person or he's my person. I hear that a lot. Dawn happens to be my person. Tamika's my person. Rock is my person. There are certain times that I won't share. I won't share, my vulnerability with, because this is crazy to say, but because I trust you to be exactly who I've seen you be. Your fruit.
That's correct. That's absolutely right. Yep.
Who you are. So I'm trusting you to be that, and you will never get a front row ticket
Right.
to this space.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
You
right.
didn't come. Because I tell people all the time, listen, my circle, my circle is real big. When you see my circle, you would assume, dog, Haven, you got a lot of friends because they call me friend.
Right.
Yeah, but you know that circle might look big, but there's a
But it's-
lot of people. There's a handful of people that's,
Mhm.
that's inside the circle. The
Mhm.
circle of trust. You know, yeah, a lot of people are not in the cycle of trust.
That's
we're
right.
not doing that. Because like Mama said, you ain't that special.
No, yeah, you on the list, but you ain't special.
We good. And so another thing too is I said it again, be careful because everyone will not respond like you. Everyone
Right.
won't have the same heart you have. Everyone, and that's even listen. And the crazy thing is we talking about intimacy and intentional healing, but you know, I can actually say I can use my husband for example. And I can use him for example because when my husband and I first got together, y'all, you know, I don't even know how we've been married for 23 years, you know, and I said because I was starting really rocky. And I'm going to tell you, it was really rocky because I allowed him, first of all, he allowed me into his space and I was broken and bleeding all over him.
Mm-hmm.
And he allowed me to heal in his space because I
Mm-hmm.
was with baggage. You know, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, I violated his space
Mm-hmm.
and he
Mhm.
loved me through it. Now, I can't say that that's everybody's story because everybody won't do you like that. They'll tell you,
No.
they'll tear you up further in that space.
That's right. Yep.
You
Okay,
know,
right.
they'll just get what they get and they bounce. But I'm telling you, I got, you know, I almost wanted to say he kind of nursed me in that
Mhm.
space.
Mhm.
And everybody can't be there.
Nope.
That's all I got.
No, that's
Me and
good.
Dawn was talking about that earlier about loving people through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Loving people through. A lot
But
of
that's a
people
fair, you know,
when I met
that's
my wife, a lot of people
normal.
like, oh man,
Mhm.
she's broken, she's this. Nah, we good. Shoot, August be 25 years.
Come on.
It'd be
Love,
25 years. So
still love
you yeah. You know, it'd be 25 years in August. And y'all see how we are. Y'all see how we are when we laughing and
Sis
kidding.
in love. That's my sis
Yeah.
in love.
She would be here now. She wasn't on the Zoom herself doing something. She's on another Zoom, or she would be here herself. You know, so I mean, it's just critical. It's just critical, and we got to stop being so desperate to say something that we say just to anybody. We just open up to anybody. We gotta be able to put a cap on it. We gotta be able to, you
Right.
know, stop sharing so much just with anybody. Because let me tell you something. You give me about 2 or 3 minutes. I can tell if I could trust somebody with something. It
Yeah.
don't take long. You can tell by the conversation.
Yeah,
You just say something crazy and see how they respond to it. How they respond to it's probably no, that ain't good candidate. And sometimes they'll tell you. Sometimes I just say something dumb purposely just to see reactions.
Yep.
And that'll let you know who you can trust and who you can't trust.
You have to take those steps because you have to be able to guard your space.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to have to guard my space against the person who's in my space.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that is
Yes.
betrayal is an inside job. And then
Yes, it is.
the guilt that you feel after that, sometimes it'll make you question yourself because you're like, I allowed this person in my space. How did I not see? How did I not know? And that's because sometimes people take time and they will work on infiltrating your space to try to wear you down and try, all right, so y'all know I keep it real, okay? I've been trying to play nice all night. But because I am who I am, well, before I make this comment, let me greet some people who just came in. Welcome into the room. I'm going, hey, I felt the Shondo, and although we are not a Christian-based network, y'all know I'm a God's girl, but we whatever the moral compass is, we respect it. Please like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to Thursday night. With me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. We have the panel of my little sis Haven, my mama, Pastor Rose, and my big brother Rock, our big brother Rock, up here talking about intimacy and intentional healing. And we're going to continue diving through this conversation. But our other family member is in the building on tonight. We call him the Chief Apostle. I'm not even gonna run down all the names tonight. I'm gonna give him a break. Okay, I'm gonna give a time out. But King is in the building. He was with us last week. He's no stranger here, and he will be back with us again. Welcome, darling. Good to see you. He says, "Hey, Mama Rosa." He's giving a special shout out. That's right. And then we have Disciple Spencer who says, "I'm used to it. You on the list, but you not special." That is gonna be
Mama Rosa. Everybody like that. Everybody
The-
like you on the list, but you just ain't special. That's all.
we gonna put that on a t-shirt or a banner or
Yeah.
something.
We need to
Yes,
put that on the
yes.
t-shirt.
Welcome in, Landon. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining. And the gems are a dropping. Mama T says,
Mama T.
"Is Isabel? She been here? Yeah, she's here."
That's David Ruffin's sister.
There you go.
And then we have Cyber Spencer, I'm not even fooling, who says, "You can't share your story with everyone. That is the truth. You can't. You cannot." Again, we have to guard. And this is what makes the intimate space intimate. Is that it's the one place I should be able to go and not have to be with my shoulders up. It's the one place that I should be able to go where I have my defenses down. She laughing, Mama T laughing at you, right? It's the one place in our intimate settings that I should be able to go to be 100% of myself. Now, I would say with both of you, as you were sharing, and I'll share mine after this. But when you were sharing about how in your marriages and your mates, the people that you're with, how the brokenness that was there, that either you covered or they covered you. And that's because they created, along with you, an intimate place so that you could come and bleed all over them. And they had the capacity to clean that up.
Yes.
However long it took, however many times we had to go to the space, if you had to sit and lay in my lap for 6 hours and cry until you fall asleep and then you wake up and you begin all over again, but it should be okay in this space. And that's why it's important that we create intimacy. Some people, though, I found can be so broken that they don't know how to receive.
That's true.
They don't know how to receive the intimacy. They don't know what intimacy is. Intimacy does not feel good to them because vulnerability has somewhat betrayed them. So therefore,
Hey, sis, that was probably the first 16 years of our marriage.
Okay, but
the first 16 years of our marriage, and I kept saying, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We got this. It's gonna be okay."
But people are not used to people are not used to someone hanging in there with them from beginning and loving you just the same. He said without the judgment. Now we have to understand that I can see you. I can see your hurt and I can see your pain. And I can acknowledge it and call it what it is. I might not baby you, but I can have the capacity to help you do it. Why? Because I want you to grow through it, not just go through it, but I want you to grow through this so you can get up from this space. And that requires an intimate setting somewhere that is, as it says, close, a private, cozy atmosphere where we can become closely acquainted and maintain our closeness. And again, when we're talking about in that space, there has to be safety, there has to be security, there has to be no judgment, there has to be trust, and you have to show the capacity for a person, because the minute you stop showing up for them in that space, that sanctity, that sacredness has broken that space down and it's no longer intimate. Now it's a place that's been tainted and people feel violated. I know for me, and this kind of gets back to when Rock was saying before, intimacy, the consideration of intimacy is not physical, but the mental and spiritual side of it. For me, I'm very much like that the intimacy for me has to be internal. I don't care if you ever touch me. The most intimate setting to be in, and I shared this once before. I shared this with you guys, that I had the opportunity to be in a space with someone who I'm very close to, and we didn't say a word. We say word, and it was the most perfect, pure, full, intimate space that I had been in the longest time, almost to the point where I didn't even know how to react, respond. I wasn't even sure what emotions I was kind of feeling all the emotions at the same time, but there was such a peace and a calming that I needed, but had been missing. And so in that intimate space that was created, it was purely, it wasn't based on words. Sometimes you don't need to say a word. There's a thing my former pastor used to talk about, the ministry of presence. Just being present can create the intimate space that a person needs, and it was the most amazing. Like, it really helped me release, and it really started to help heal some things, in me. So now every time I get the opportunity to be in that quiet space where, like, again, we don't have to say a word. You ain't gotta say nothing.
Right.
Like, you know, just being in your presence is enough. Just knowing, because a lot of times silence scares us. A lot of people don't know how to handle silence. Intimacy requires sometimes for us to be silent. Just embrace what's going on. Because then we start feeling.
Just be available. Just be available.
Yep. Because then you have to rely on your other senses. It's not always in the talk, because now it requires me to be deep with my emotions. Intimacy requires, and we're going to get into and touch on the intentional healing. This is all leading up to that, because there has to be intentionality in our intimacy. There's a purpose, a point, and a goal. Me being intimate with you, and me creating this private, cozy atmosphere. We have to be, why am I creating this? Why are we creating this? And why do I want to create that with you? What are we going to deposit in this space? For me, because I am a deep emotional person, what I find is, and again, I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get some Jesus when you get me, but this is the truth, because that's who I am. Out while we was talking about it being safe and not being deceived by people betraying you in that space, I have to be very careful, because and I'm saying this again, this is not gender based, it's just my experience, because I'm a woman who likes men, not a woman who likes women. Do what you do, but this is for me. I have found that there are men who watch. And, because men, you learn, when we're all interested in someone, we watch their habits, their patterns, we learn what they do, experience them in different spaces. But because they see, God is like, I really love God, like for real, like I do. And so they will try to use that church language or God language or spiritual language, because they know that's how you get to me. That's the core of, like, if you really want her attention, you got to show her, like, if I see you loving on God, that's appealing, and again, this is for me. So for me, I have to be very careful when that happens, because again, it creates a false sense of trust that we are creating this intimate space, and then my guards are down, and then, like Haven was saying, things go left. And now you telling all the business that, was found out and shared in this intimate space that we've created. So, you got to guard your gates. And these are just things that you got to keep in mind. You want to share, bro?
Yes. That's very critical in what you said. Men are hunters by nature. We are hunters. And men, depending on who they're going after, they know exactly what to say. I've been saying for decades, and people look at me, especially women, and I used to always say, how can you tell me how men think? And I'm telling you, when they want something, they will figure out what is the most important thing to you, and they will attack that part of your emotions.
Yep.
That's
right. And that's because we're hunters by nature. Man, we'll sit out in the water all day, don't catch nothing. We'll go out in the woods all day, don't shoot nothing. And we'll sit there for days and waiting, because that's what we do that by it's nature. You have some men got good intentions, and some men, they got bad intentions. They just going after people. But the thing about it is, is that that's what they do. That's what we do. We talk about, I've had people do it to me. They're like, they'll come, but you could tell, I catch them. I'm like, because they'll try to come and like, you don't know nothing about the Bible, because all that ain't even in the Bible. What you talking about? So but that's what they do. We go after, because men attack women's emotions. They go after their emotion because many women are emotional creatures.
Right.
They're not gonna go after the men too. They're gonna go after the emotions. Like I said, and I tell them, I said, I can tell you what he said when he came back. Because you said he didn't want nothing to do with you, the kids, or nothing, right? And when he came back, I guarantee one of the first things he said was, "How were the children?" Yeah, he did, right? Because he knows that's important to you. So he gonna start off with, "Well, how's the children doing? Do they need anything? Is there anything I can do to help out with them?" Because he's on damage control. He on get back now, and he know you're gonna suck all of that up. Oh well, maybe I overreacted, and then boom.
Right. That's why you gotta guard your gates, and not be so quick to create intimacy. Don't fall for the okie doke all the time. Curb. There's a book that says curb your enthusiasm, so curb your enthusiasm and your emotions, and give it a minute before you start creating these intimate spaces, until you really understand what a person's motive, because time will tell, wait it out and see. Don't let the excitement of having someone in your space cause you to drop your guard so quickly. And this leads us into the second part of the conversation about intentional healing. And as Haven and Rock shared their stories and their experiences with their spouses, they were both intentional in the healing process to their spouses. We often want someone to be that intentional sponge of healing for us. But then when it's time for us to turn around and be that to someone else, we don't want to do that work. We want to be on the receiving end, but not on the giving end. And I'm sure that both of their spouses, and both of them being spouses, not knowing even what this healing journey was going to look like, not knowing how long it was going to take, not knowing how much of themselves they would have to give to it. But when you invest in healing into your partner, guess what? You go in with one level of capacity, but you come out with another, because you're growing together. And through that healing process, you are creating yet another level of intimacy that cannot be broken. Because even when they get each other's last nerves and you really ready to walk out that door, because people are people, guess what? You will remember a moment like that. And that moment, like this moment we're having now, is not bigger than what we've already, been through, what got us here. Mommy, how did you get here? So I shared a clip earlier with the team from a man, Jason Wilson, who wrote a book, The Man, The Moment Demands. Now, if you can go and watch this clip, I'm trying to put it in the chat. He experienced a moment with his wife that I thought was so pivotal. And this is actually what prompted this conversation for me. His wife had suffered several miscarriages. I believe he said 5. And they were prepared, they were being intimate in the sense of, in the bedroom. And he said the Holy Spirit told him, and then her last miscarriage, he said, was their child passed at 5.5 months, right?
Right.
I give you the background as we're dialoguing for those who don't know. So she had a scar on her stomach that was from top to bottom. And he said while they're, having foreplay and doing, what people do in the bedroom, he said the Holy Spirit told him, kiss her scar.
Right.
And she did. And he said the Spirit told him, no, kiss it from top to bottom. And he said that he did. And as he was doing that, kissing her scar, she began to weep. And the more she wept, the more he continued to minister to her, if I use that term, to
That's a
to
good term.
be there for her, right? But because we're not, we are all inclusive, and we are, whatever your core value is, our minds is God, But he continued to love on her in that area where she hurt the most, and that allowed her to heal emotionally, knowing that even though she had this, not just this ugly scar, not just in the external way, but internally having suffered so many losses in this way, that has to, as a woman, as a human being, as a man, be damaging to your emotions, to your feelings, as females, because, carrying children is supposed to be one of the most natural things that we do, that we are made to do this, instinctively. And to find out that you cannot do something that your body is naturally equipped and made to do, I promise you, it is traumatizing, and it leaves a stain, because I went through it myself. My son is a miracle baby. I call him. I suffered from cervical cancer for 5 years. I was told I would not have any children. I could not have children. If I had children, it's going to be a problem. All this other stuff. He's not supposed to be here. Well, he'll be 23 this year, and he is here. But I know what that's like, because I remember that conversation. Not a day or a year goes by, honestly, that I don't remember hearing that. When he gets on my nerves the worst, and I see him walking by, and I want to trip him sometimes. But I remember, he's not even supposed to be here, but the thoughts, and even though he's here, the thoughts still linger sometimes, so there's a pain that's there. And the fact that her husband, that he said as a man, it wasn't just hit it, quit it, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It wasn't, I'm just here to get mine and get off, or whatever the case may be, however you want to put it, pardon the verbiage. But he was intentional about being in that space with her, about creating some intimate space where she could heal at his hands. And we have to be intentional. A lot of us are still walking around hurting and broken. Now, I want to say this, and then I'm going to open it up to the panel. No one is going to get anyone unhealed. No one is going to get, I'm sorry, let me take that back. No one is going to get anyone unhurt. Everybody's going to get somebody that's been hurt. And if you get someone that's never been hurt, they will be hurt by the time you finish with them. Why? Because we all have been through stuff. We're all walking with scars. We're all walking with disappointments. So we cannot expect someone to come to us healed, whole, and perfect. Sometimes people are going to come to us in their most broken state, and we're going to need to be able to love them beyond that. He loved his wife beyond her pain, and that created healing for her. And we have to be able to help to heal one another, and not be selfish. So I want to open it up to the panel, because they had an opportunity to watch the clip as well. Again, the man's name is Jason Wilson. The book is called The Man the Moment Demands, and I do recommend it. I ordered it myself because the clip was amazing, as he shares about creating these moments and showing up as the man that his wife needs. And women, it's important that we read it so that we get a better understanding that men's heart are not as broken as we may always think. They are not. Let's stop saying all men are dogs and all that, because that is not the truth. Let's change this narrative around. So come on, I'm going to start with Haven, and then we're going to go to Mama Rosa, and then Rock. Come on.
All right. So I will say this. One of the things that when I watched the clip, first of all, I thought it was actually amazing that he was able to break through some scars that she had probably thought that she was going to cover forever, and nobody was going to ever intimately get her, touch her there or get her there. And I can say, and I'm going to use myself personally, when it came to my husband and I intimately, I can say that I was not. So just to go surface, when you have been violated and your innocence is taken when you are younger, it is hard for you to be intimate physically without being guarded, to where you're guarded so much that you don't enjoy doing it. You just do it because it is what you're supposed to do as
Yeah.
a wife or as a partner. But when you allow yourself to be vulnerable enough with someone, and someone loves you in a way that you feel like you can let it all hang out, I don't want to say it like that, but you feel like when somebody can love you in a way that the intimacy is so strong, um
Mm-hmm.
or the I don't know, all I can say is just love. Like, love is the word.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the love so strong and it's so intimate that it lets you be vulnerable in a way that they become your person. Like I don't want to hide anything from you. I don't have to wear a mask with you. I can let my hair down with you, and you have liberty to have your way with me because I trust you that way. You know, but that is what I can tell you that I experienced. I think my husband loved me in a way that nobody else could love me
Uh-huh.
in that type of relationship. And to be able to, the way she allowed her husband to be in her space, and um the way he expressed it, I thought was amazing because I experienced that in that way. Um so I think when it comes to intentional healing, see, this generation is so different. You know,
Mhm.
they're the influence is different. And when you have, especially if you have a child, or you have children that are used to seeing you and your husband in that level of intimacy, and then they go out to date and they're expecting that level of intimacy, and they're expecting everyone else, well, my parents, they got this love, they're expecting that, and they go out there and that love doesn't look the same, especially in the younger people's generation. you
Right.
know it is definitely scary thing, because you got even adults now, adults who are putting themselves out there again, taking a leap out on faith
Come
and saying,
on.
okay, I'm gonna put my heart out there again, and see where the chips fall. We're gonna see, you know
One again.
you
One more again.
yeah, I'm going to not shut myself out, because we can do that too. There are some people who probably miss their Boaz because they put a chastity belt on, or and they close the whole cage.
My
They close it. They put a mask on. They close that, not just chastity, but they chastity their whole body. I'm not gonna subject myself to this because I don't like this pain. I don't like the way this feels. But I just that's all I have. I feel like this generation is a lot different. I feel like with intentional healing, it has to be, like Mama said, they gotta be special. And I guess as a Bible kid, as a Holy Ghost believer, I will say that you got to use your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, revelation from God, and you got to use discernment when you are agreeing with whoever this mate is you choose, because they can be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And if you, like, I posted a post the other day that said love can be so blinding, it can blind out. And you could be wanting it so bad and be so desperate to have it that you don't even see that this is a wolf, and this wolf will never have an intention of helping you heal, or meeting you at that level of vulnerability. They have their motive is different. And that can be a woman or a man, because believe it or not, women are getting more more aggressive than men these days.
It's true.
So you have men that are getting hurt, and what happens is those men turn into everything you think they should be. Everything you had in your mind. He's a dog. He's a this. He's a that. It's because he encountered somebody that did exactly the same thing that we don't want to happen.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. And thank you for that. That was, that was really, really good. We have to be mindful, and whatever your moral compass is, that's what she's saying. Use that to help navigate you through these decision-making processes that we go through. Tap into that and let it guide you, to where you need to be so that you don't end up being more wounded than you were to begin with. We have to be intentional in our healing, not just in receiving, but in giving. Come on, Mama, share your thoughts.
Two things I wanted to talk about as I'm listening. And one is sometimes, you're violated in your most intimate self, in that most intimate area of your life. And mine was in writing. I wanted to write for a long time, but then I got married early, had my children, and so that came first. So I would write, as I went along, and that was my personal. My writing was very, very personal. It was intimate. As Rock was saying, don't enter this space because this is where God and I, are intimate with, so you're not allowed in this space. And so that space was violated. And I locked it down. I put the book in the drawer and I said, I'm not going to ever write again because I felt invaded. You went in a place that was intimate to me. I wasn't ready to share that. But later on, I did overcome that. But I overcame it because in another instance, a person was very personable. And in being personable, I didn't have to say what I needed. I didn't have to say what I wanted. They discerned, they observed. They were just into the listen, and when I said something, the next thing I knew, what I wanted was there, and a lot of times we're in relationships and that person has no idea who we are, has no idea who we are. They're just, setting, giving things because that's what they want you to have, never giving you what you want. And it may not be, I might not want a diamond. I might just want a cup of coffee, or I might just want, I might just want you to sit and hold my hand. That to me, is so you have to know a person's language. You invest yourself in that person. It's not about you any longer. It's about that other person, learning that other person to give to that other person, because what you want ultimately is for that person to smile. You want that person to be happy. That becomes your life. My life is exchanging mine for yours and vice versa. And until, you have that type of intimacy, this is why a lot of marriages don't work, even Christian marriages, because we don't really give of ourselves. We don't take that risk. We don't wait. We end the marriage in 16 or the 15 years. We don't let it, reach the 20, 30. And you got to go through those curtains, in order to be in that intimate place with the Lord. You got to go through that first curtain, that second curtain. You can't just stand at the first, the first one and looking, you can't just get saved. We got to become like him. We got to take those steps, and you can't be afraid. This person is worth me taking that risk. you know, and that's how we need to go um, into a lasting, you know, relationships.
That's good. Thank you for that, Mom. That's right. We have to learn one another and what each other needs in order for us to partner with them in the spaces of intentional healing. Disciple Spencer says, "Yes, I close myself off to being in a relationship." I understand, sis. I do. And before I let Rock come on and share, and then I want you guys to take a minute to think of your final thoughts and comments. You know, we got got a minute, but when you do bring your final thoughts and comments, I want you to share on after this. Now, having opened up this discussion, this is just the beginning of a discussion. We just tapping the surfaces. What could you share to help someone else in the areas to think about when it comes to intimacy and intentional healing? But Disciple, I want to tell you, girl, sis, Fluffy Nation partner, I absolutely understand, know, feel, been there with you 1000%. I closed myself off for a long time, because I did not want to deal. So I get it, and I had to realize I was depriving myself of a love that I knew I wanted, matter of fact, I'm gonna say it this way. I was depriving myself of a love that I know I needed beyond the fact that I know I wanted it. And I was depriving myself of giving all the love that I have to someone that I know deserves it and needs it just the same. So that faucet, when we close ourselves off and we cut ourselves off, we're not letting anything out and we're not letting anything in. And that means that two people now are suffering and going without. So, I really had to pray and ask God to help me to readjust my thinking. First, help me heal, and then me readjust my thinking. And now, I'm at a different place, so now, now I'm single, free, and disengaged, and, I'm all right with the dating space now. Like we can do this, so I just wanted to share that as she's saying,
They got to come through me first, though.
Okay, y'all have heard it.
Me too. Hey, we got to send these people.
We got to do this. We got to do this, kiddo.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
She ain't
Absolutely.
that wrong.
Hey, you got 3 people on the panel. We got to check them out first.
Yeah.
There's three ways.
And after we check them out, the final stage is Mama Rosa. She got the final say. And
No.
Mama Rosa, I got you. We going deep.
Big
We
Bro
going
gonna back
deep.
it up,
We want to know we want to know if he got a toenail on his big toe.
That's
We
right.
pulling all the
Listen.
stops out.
Yes. Yes.
So she come with a posse, okay?
I'm trying to tell you.
That's right.
I really do. I really do. Maybe that's why I stopped dating, because I was trying to save the men who might be interested. Because y'all, I don't know if anybody's built for this. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I said I'll open myself back up to the world of dating and and living, and enjoying and learning. But y'all have heard it here, okay? So I'm gonna leave that alone. I will go ahead, big bro.
When I saw the clip, I had two. I was feeling kind of both ways. It didn't really throw me because I knew, but it made me happy because she found healing. Because the thing about it is, and I don't think I've met too many men that agree. We believe as men that the only way that we are to make a woman feel secure is financially. Because we pay bills and stuff like that. Everything should be okay.
Touch on.
And I believe if you could have financial security and a woman to leave. But if she feels secure emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, and you doing the best you can financially, you'll be with her she'll be with you for 40, 50 years.
Come on.
It's not, we have to, it's our responsibility. Now, we can't heal no one. Christ does that. But we have to play our part we got to aid in the healing of emotional, mentally, spiritually, and physical. We got to aid in that. You know, you got people don't even tell their wives they look good when they put something on, or your hair looks nice, or whatever. You know, you got to. That's my job. I don't wait for nobody else. Listen. I don't wait for nobody else to say nothing. What? I don't. You know, and we have to understand that as men, that's part of our responsibility, because that's what God has put in us to do. We're supposed to, because if we love our wives like Christ loves the church, isn't Christ responsible for the healing of the church? He's right. So then, if we love our lives like Christ loved the church, then we need to man up. We got to start manning up and doing what we're supposed to be doing, so the woman could feel secure and safe to open up. Because I'm gonna tell you something: women ain't open up, they don't feel secure and safe. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. And you may get a part of them, but they won't open up. And which means you can be in a relationship for 20 years and there's never no intimacy. So we got to get to the point where, and then on the flip side, women have to be willing to want to be healed.
Yep.
They have to seek healing. They have to want the healing. And I'm not saying that in 1 or 2 or 3 years you're gonna be totally healed, but when you know you got someone, give them an opportunity. See, if Haven or Robin never gave an opportunity, you won't get like a piece here, a piece there, a piece there. Then they start connecting the dots. Then they start putting the puzzles together. Like, hey, wait a minute, I might got somebody pretty decent here right here. But they had to open up at some point, because you can plant seeds all you want. If you plant the seed, they throwing it back at you. It ain't nothing you can do, right? So, what happened to people as children is not their fault, but their healing is their responsibility. I'm gonna close with that.
That's true. That's your closing remark.
That's my closing remark.
Okay. That's his closing. Big Bro has spoken. He has spoken. Women, be open to healing is what he has said. So I'll share this before we give Haven her space for her closing remarks, her 2-minute closing remarks, and Mama Rosa her time for her 2-minute closing remarks. I will say these are just some notes that I was writing down as everybody was talking. Is to learn to accept and receive help in your healing process, as Big Bro Rock was saying, and that goes for both of us. But women, we have to learn how to accept the help. And I know it can be difficult because we've all been hurt, and you don't want to reopen that. But we have to learn to accept and receive the help in our healing process. Another thing was, it's beyond the body. Man, love my soul, and that's for both of us. It's beyond what you can do in the bedroom. Love on my soul. When you heal my soul, when you help heal my spirit, when you help heal my mind, other things will follow. Everything else will follow. But when we touch on those internal things, because that's where the pain is now stored and kept, is in the inside. So when we learn to go beyond the physical touch, we will get so much more out of each other, because we want to get to a place to understand that there is freedom in intimacy and intentional healing. And that's what we all want. We want to be free, to be able to have intimacy one with another, and to experience what that intentional healing feels like. Intentional healing is very intense. I'm doing this on purpose. I'm in your face on purpose. I'm hugging you this tight on purpose. And the very thing that you don't want to feel is the very thing that I'm going after in this intentional healing moment, because I want you to be free beyond this. And I would say the other thing, learn to love, and so I was saying, learn to love and to hold each other until we heal. Learn to stick with me, with us in this until. Learn to hang in there until. You know what I'm saying? I'm finding it. You know, the clip was saying, you know, I'm finding it. Take time to find it. I'm finding it. We can find it, you know, but we have to learn how to love and hold each other until we heal. And then I know this is a big one for me. In the aspect of us receiving this intentional healing, this intimacy in space, this learning to accept that there's someone else who is here and is going to hang in there with you and receiving and helping through the healing process. It's hard for me to believe that you love the parts of me that I dislike or hate the most.
Oh yeah.
Say that again. Say that again. Say it again.
Yeah.
Hard for me to believe it. I'm making it personal. It's hard for me to believe that you love the parts of me that I dislike the most. And
well, you said hate the first time.
I did hate and dislike. It's hard. It's hard for me to believe that because we always want to present ourselves as perfect picture and picture perfect. But when you love the very things about me that I struggle with, I'm like, bro, how you doing that? Because I'm not even sure I like me right now. Now I say love me. I don't like everything about me, but I love all of me every day. I do. But that's the inside thing. But when you can show up in somebody else's life and love the parts of them that they dislike, and I would say, and for those of you, again, whatever your moral compass is, we are believers, so we're speaking from our space of experience and what we tap into, which is God, but it's whatever your moral compass is, you know, everyone is accepted here. Grab the principle of it, you know. I had to have a conversation with my own spirit, and my spirit was like, well, how come it's okay for you to love other people? Do you understand how selfish you are? And I was like, what you talking about? So I am not, you know, and my spirit was like, yes, you are. Because how is it that it's okay for you? That's control to love other people to their better. But you won't let anyone love you to yours.
Right, that's right.
I was like, I'm gonna go sit down, have several seats, and then I had like a whole
and face the wall. I
was a special person. I had the whole front row.
Yes.
And we have to not be selfish. You have to not be selfish and not be so controlling. Love is risky, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Because I was like, yeah, but no, because I can deal with me and I know what I'm made of. And there's like, but you're not the only one who's on this earth that is built with the capacity to love someone else back to better, to love them through their mess, their dirt, their nastiness, their, you know, being off their square, all of that, to be in the imperfect state, to go to their struggle state. You're not the only one, and you dare not ever put yourself in that place to back to health and back to a healthy place. And how dare you refuse when people are being put into your life to come and do that very thing. Let go of the control and allow yourself to be loved intentionally to a place of healing. So those are my few notes and what we got. Come on, Haven, give your closing remarks.
All right. So my closing is, so you said, what could I share with someone else to help them with intimacy and intentional healing?
Whatever's on your heart concerning this conversation.
Yes. So you said something, and it's going to be, again, on purpose. Intimacy, when you decide to let someone in your space, it is purposeful. You have seen something in someone has, or you have seen something, you have discerned something, and you have made a conscious decision to allow this person to come into your space. And what I would say is, be careful, because if we're talking about the relationship being intimacy. So we're talking about love month. So we're talking about relationships. And if you are intent about this relationship, or the intent is to love in this relationship, then the only advice I would say is that vulnerable space is not for everyone. And if we had to use this as a reservation, then when you go to this fancy restaurant, and this fancy restaurant you go to, you got to either book it in advance, you got to put your credit card or your personal information on hold. So you're going to make that reservation hard to secure. Everybody can't be in that space. Everybody can't be in that space. Everybody can. You can't let everybody in there. So you have to be very careful, because sometimes we can respond and we can accept stuff because of our hurt. We can accept stuff because of our trauma. We can trauma bond with people
Ooh,
and
child.
trauma bond with them, and we assume that trauma bond is a vulnerable space where we can be intimate and share our stuff. No, sometimes you trauma bond with people, and they can bleed on you more, and you try to figure
Mhm.
out what you feel worse than when you came in the situation. So you have to be careful and be intentional with people that you allow to be in that space, and that's what I
Mhm.
got. Be purposeful.
That's good. That's good. And let me say this, just ain't too much I can add to that. Only other thing I can really add to it, come on with the fireworks. And, you talking about trauma bonding, and sometimes,
That's my
but
little sister.
we also got to think on the other side of that. That's little sis. She gets the sparkles. Is that sometimes it's us
You're on the list. You
who's
just not
who's being
special.
right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead, Vic. Okay, go ahead.
You good? You good? Listen, come on. That's what it is. But that trauma bonding works both ways. If someone
Oh
could
yeah.
be bonding with us in that case, but sometimes it's me. Make sure I'm the one
Right.
Come on.
Hmm.
who's
Heart
not
check.
right.
Yes.
Make sure I'm
Yes.
not that that's leaking on somebody else all over the place.
Hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
yes.
I'm the wounded, I'm the leaker here, sometimes. So that's really good. We believe in balance over here, okay, y'all?
Oh
Um,
yes.
Disciple says, I met a friend on the cruise I was on in January. Come on, come on. She said, I'm talking, I'm ready,
Taking.
Taking it really
ready.
slow.
I'm taking it
I'm
really
taking
slow.
it very,
Very
very
good.
slow.
Hey.
That's okay. But you're doing, you're taking
Yeah.
it. You're stepping out. You've opened that shell, and I'm so proud of. Come on, Fluffy Nation, represent. And
Yeah.
if anything, at the end of it all, it doesn't mean it. That this is the last. It's the first of your new next.
Mhm.
Because you're just stepping out, seeing where you're at in this thing. Take it really slow and enjoy the journey. Ain't no need to rush. I know it's
Mhm.
how, life is too short, but because life is so short, we got to make sure that we are enjoying the moments that we are in and embracing them. Come on, Mama, give us your 2-minute closing. Let me unmute you. There you go. You did it.
I did. Um, I want to say that, everyone is not the same. And
No, say it with your chest like you said it before.
everyone is not the same. And when,
Tell the people they're not
when
special.
you gotta, right, okay. Um,
I'm sorry. Go
and so
ahead. Go
you're
ahead.
gonna, and so you're going to take risks, and you're gonna get hurt, and sometimes we hurt people. But we have to take accountability for our part. Sometimes we stay too long. We got to take accountability. Sometimes we ignore, the voices saying, listen, there's a red flag. We ignore. We have to take accountability. When we do that, then, we don't place blame, because then we start the healing process on ourselves. When we start that healing process on ourselves, what you were saying, Dawn, the parts of you that you don't like, when that healing process starts, when we love ourselves. We set people free to love us in the way that we need to and want to be loved. And that's in those places where you don't like, those places where we don't like about ourselves. That's where we need to be loved the most. And the final thing I wanted to say is that utopic moment in in our relationship is not the most important part. What it is the result of the most important part in that relationship, which is each other.
Come on, Miss Rosa. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it all. I want to thank you guys for walking us through this conversation tonight, this month of love talk. Listen, I'm grateful for those of you who tuned in and tapped in tonight and all month long. I so appreciate you. I thank my sis Haven. I thank my mama, Pastor Rosa, Mama Rosa, and I thank my biggest brother like none other.
I didn't get my final words.
Oh, I thought you said? Okay, go ahead, big bro. I'm sorry. You said that was your final words before. Go ahead. Come on,
come on, baby.
Okay, I got you. I got you. My bad. My bad.
All right. What only thing I have is going to be short. First, I want to elaborate a little bit on the discussion. In aiding in healing, I was also able to heal. It goes both ways, right? So I don't want people to think that it's just women that have hurts and trauma and stuff. In the healing, it's good therapy. See, God is all wise. He gave it to us to aid in healing because he knew at the same time it would heal us too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I believe you love a woman right, she's gonna love you back.
Come on.
That's where that healing comes in at. And then what Mama Rose was saying about staying there too long, many times, a lot of things we do go through is self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted. And we stay too long. And I get it. I get it. Some people being there so long and there's so much. They don't have nowhere to go, nobody to turn to and stuff like that. But it still becomes self-inflicted because every day you make a decision to stay or whatever. Now, with that said, we have to seek healing. We have to seek healing daily, right? And I'm gonna end on this. Therapy plus Christ equals total healing. We got to stop thinking therapy is the enemy. We got to stop thinking because we go to therapy, we're crazy and we're losing our mind. Well, some of us are losing our minds, but that's not what therapy is about. That's not what counseling is about. Counseling is being able to go somewhere and get and not only release, but also to learn healthy ways and proper ways to cope and to deal with what's going on. We gotta stop. We gotta stop self-diagnosing ourselves and stop. And that's another thing. You cannot heal if you don't correctly identify what's going on. You gotta correctly identify what's going on with you. If you sugarcoat it and water it down, then you have no desire for healing. Therapy plus Christ equals total healing.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that's my final say.
Okay. Thank you, big brother. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed my cue, y'all. I don't ever want to be in a bad space with big bro. It's not gonna work out. But I appreciate y'all. And again, whatever your moral compass is, put it in that space. Again, we are speaking from our space of experience and what guides us, what we tap into. And again, this is not, again, we're open space. Whatever your moral compass, thoughts, beliefs are, we welcome them. We thank you. We look forward to you sharing them. But whatever that, catch the principle of it. Whatever it is, that's what you tap into. Use your spirituality plus therapy will bring you into total whole healing. So I'm going to do it again. Thank you, sis. My lovely little sis Haven. Thank you, Mom, for being here on tonight. And my big brother, the best that there is like none other. That's right. Rock Noble is his house on tonight. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed this month of Love Talk. We have been pushing through some topics, just starting to tap on them, just introducing a little bit. Because if we can help you just, begin to open up, just crack a little bit in that surface, we can eventually help you get all the way to the open space that healing, wholeness, and real love will provide for you. I love what brother said. He said, love me right now. I always say, love me right the first time, so that I can love you back. Okay? Because that's all I want. I just want to love you back. That's all. But love me right the first time. Okay? Doesn't mean you to be perfect. Just be right. Just be right, y'all. So with that being said, again, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight and for joining us. The month is not over. We got one more Thursday night to go, and I promise you, you do not want to miss next Thursday night, because next Thursday night, we're going to be talking about the game of love, okay? I promise you, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'm hoping to have a good full 10-person panel, because we're going to get down. It's going to be some heavy-hitting partnerships going on. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be good. We're going to end this month of love, loving on each other. But let's talk about the game of love. Really? Is it a game? Should it be a game? Are we playing well? How are we playing? Which side are you on? The winning side or the losing side? Who set the rules? Whose rules are there? Are you playing by the rules? What we doing? Come on, let's talk about it. I want to lastly say to you guys, my last comment.
Some homework.
Don't worry.
There's a lot right there.
There's going to be some notes sent out. Don't worry. We're going to be right here having fun, wrapping up this Love Talk month. And I just want to say to you guys, keep in mind, this is a quote that I wrote. I'm giving you the unwounded parts of my heart. So please don't reopen my scars.
Wow.
Take that with you. Keep that in mind as we go along loving each other. We are giving each other the last few unwounded pieces of our hearts. Go with that instead of going to reopen someone's scars. Love you guys. Have a great night. See you back next Thursday. Bring a friend right here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday nights. With me, your girl, ladies, and be on the Bravo with Sheila Network. Everybody, we're going to get this thing going.
Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan. Show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the coach, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots. Hey, don't stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of